are going to make sure that South Africa becomes one of the best countries again. The GNU is the second chance that we've been given. Do not underestimate what the voters has given us as government. We work very nicely together. And the ones that say the GNU is not working, they are already divorced and fighting. John Steenhuisen and myself used to insult each other every election. But I remember I was wearing a T-shirt and I passed one of his rallies and he said, "There goes that green gangster." Last week on Wednesday, the president was busy speaking in cabinet. He was seated next to me. And I see this man is busy under the table. And I get annoyed, like, what are you busy with? And when I put my head back, I saw he's eating biltong. And I said, an 11-year-old child, my son was 12, outran my son like my son was standing still. People usually that goes to the Olympics are the types of my son. There's the money, the equipment, and all the help. But that 11-year-old is not going. So we're starting Project 300 to make sure that we are funding every child that has a promise. Because in 2028, we are taking 300 athletes to the Olympics in Los Angeles. Then we are starting a very exciting thing. The last three things is Project 300. It cannot be, this is the example I always make people with my son. My son went to run, and the principal came to me when he was 10 years old. He said, "Mr. McKenzie, you do know that your son is probably one of the fastest 10-year-olds in the country." I said, "It can't be." He says, "I'm telling you." When he was 11, he says, "Can you see? We timed him." I said, "No, let me get him a coach. Start spending money on him, buy him treadmills, get everything." At the age of 12, we were at my family in Menenberg. And they started running with other kids in the street. An 11-year-old child, my son was 12, outran my son like my son was standing still. So people usually that goes to the Olympics, respectfully said, are the types of my son that has the money, the equipment, and all the help. But that 11-year-old is not going. So we're starting Project 300 to make sure that we are funding every child that has a promise. We make sure they get a salary, a stipend. We make sure they get good nutrition. We make sure that they get mental help. We make sure that they get the best coaching. Because in 2028, we are taking 300 athletes to the Olympics in Los Angeles. We can't just take 100 and something. We are also busy with the music policy and strategy document. We are also busy fixing Maskandi. Maskandi is being followed by a lot of people in this country. But Maskandi is being treated, even by our own radio stations, as some music that must only be played on Heritage Day. It can't be. My yogurt was a big hit when we put him on the DSTV Delicious stage. And I can assure you that Maskandi, Guma, all the music that's not been taken serious, we have budgeted money to make sure that all different genres take their rightful place. The same with sport, Msinga, all the traditional sports, we are making sure. Next month, I'm going to Limpopo to go and attend the Msinga Festival. Boxing, is that boxing? Because we didn't send one boxer to the Olympics, amateur boxer. I'm going to Msinga to go and look for amateur boxers so that we can make sure we send them to the Olympics. Hip-hop, the same. Museums are outdated in this country. Our museums are old, uninteresting, boring. It's like a graveyard. Our museums need a total upgrade. And we are working hard to infuse tech, latest technology, in our museums so that we can attract young people to come to the museums. We are also going to make sure we modernize all our museums, all the museums. Our libraries, we are also in the process of making sure that we bring tech in the libraries. Children, this thing of getting one book, coming back, That's outdated stuff. We did that 30 years ago. We are now going tech, where you go and you get an iPad, like a tablet, that's got 100 books on them. And you can also do your CV on them. You can also, and we're speaking to the cell phone companies to zero rate that they don't need data. But we make sure you can't watch porn and things that will be criticized for. The children can't watch those things. We also must be honest. South Africa love dancing, we love music. Chris Brown's music was sold out, concert was sold out in 2 hours. Our people are hungry. Our people are hungry for international acts. And don't go any further. Go to the Chris Brown concert. Our people are hungry. And so what we've done, you have Tomorrowland, you have Coachella, you have Burning Man, you have Glastonbury, but there's nothing in Africa on that level of 100,000 plus. We are introducing as the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture, Africa Raw, which will happen in the Eastern Cape next year, May, where we will bring 10 international acts at one time. It will be a 3-day affair. We will have the African artists playing. We will have overseas artists playing. It will be the biggest music festival over 3 days non-stop. There's no pass out. Once you're in, you are inside. We are going to dance. We are going to stay in tents. There will be levels. There will be nice glamping for the people like Ubo Kenikunene, where they got their own shower and toilet, but you're going to have to pay. Then there's the Honke Batupili, where tens of people that just went there for nice music. And then you have the people that work for government like us, that will come with our own tents that's there at the back. But we're going to have the first time, and we're going to mix it with a big 5. It will be at a resort, 3 days. We already spoken to big names that wants to come. So you can listen to music, watch the lions, make sure you don't get eaten, and come back and take pictures, and that's what we're going to do. In conclusion, I would like to end with this. 100 days is not a lot of time in government, because you still have to attend parliament, you have to attend cabinet, you have to attend cabinet committees, you have to attend the portfolio committee. I was called by President Ramaphosa, and he asked me, Minister McKenzie, come see me. And I thought I'm in trouble. And he said, how are you holding up? I said, President, do you want me to give you the answer I'll give to you, or the one I'll give to my friends at home? He says, give me the one of your friends at home. I said, President, I've underestimated the workload of ministers. Number 2, in 2022, I said ministers are getting paid too much money. I withdraw that with immediate effect. And I want to say to you that the GNU is the second chance that we've been given. Do not underestimate what the voters has given us as government. We work very nicely together. You know, John Steenhuisen and myself used to insult each other every election. And we're still going to insult each other. But I remember I was wearing a T-shirt, and I passed one of his rallies, and he said, there goes that green gangster. And we used to insult each other. Last week on Wednesday, the president was busy speaking in cabinet. He was seated next to me. And I see this man is busy under the table. And I get annoyed, like, what are you busy with? And when I put my head back, I saw he's eating biltong. And I said, and he looked at me, and he says, and he put in. And before I ate, for reasons I'm not going to mention here, I wanted him to eat first. And when he ate, I ate, and I think I finished 60% of the biltong, he took 40%. I said, hey, come Nandi to be the Minister of Agriculture. So I want to assure South Africans that the GNU is working. It is, the president went to the USA. He was oversubscribed with meetings. The deputy president went to the UK. He was oversubscribed with meetings. And to everybody that's here, we are going to make sure that South Africa becomes one of the best countries again, and we take our rightful place in. And the ones that say the GNU is not working, they are already divorced and fighting, while we are still intact. We are going to build, and I want to thank my deputy minister, I want to thank the president for finding me worthy, and this is what I've managed to do in 30 days, in 100 days, and watch our next year. We are in fire. Thank you for coming. May God bless you.